Sponsored by Local Touch Online, a free online magazine that has an exclusive article by Pop Culture Geekery every month. This episode is sponsored by Hill Country Comic-Con. Hill Country Comic-Con is here to promote fun, art, literacy, and imagination through pop culture and comics. It will be held April 4th and 5th at the New Braunfels Convention Center. Go to hillcountrycomiccon.com to get your tickets today. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Geekery. I'm Joe Solis, and this is my lovely co-host and wife, Sarah Childs. And as you can see, we're testing new technology tonight. We're hands-free, no ruler.
Yay!
So hopefully this will work out. We did a couple of tests, and it seemed like it did. But anyway, we were going to review Birds of Prey this weekend, but it ended up being not that great. And I don't like to talk about movies that are not that great because the whole point of this channel is to talk about things that we are enjoying. So, in looking for something else to talk about, we jumped on Netflix, and I actually forgot that the graphic novel-based show, Locke Key, debuted this weekend. So we checked out actually the first 3 episodes. So we executed the rule of 3, which a lot of people follow that when it comes to new series. But this series caught us from episode 1. So we were just going to do an episode 1 review. And Sarah would probably watch the whole thing if I let her before we review this. She's the binge watcher, not me.
I was like, can we watch episode 3? And he was like, before or after we record? I was like, well, might as well be before we record.
Yeah, at that point, there's only 10 episodes, so I was kind of tempted to wait till we just finished the other 7, but there's other stuff coming out this week, so I didn't want to, waste some time on that. But
you could do it again.
Yeah, we could. I mean, it's I'd be very surprised if it goes down at this point because we were both really happy with it, and we wanted to help promote it because it's the second, I believe, graphic novel or comic based property that Netflix has done. Umbrella Academy being the other one, which was another really good series. Mm-hmm. So I could be wrong, but I'd have to look back to see if there was any others. But they definitely are 2 for 2 on this one, in my opinion. So let's just get right into it. Do you want to kind of give the premise of the show, or you want me to do it?
Okay. Well, the premise of the show is that we have a family, and no, you better do this because I don't know how much I can say with it being the non-spoilers.
Oh, that's right.
And I don't want to say something wrong, so.
Well, we can split this in half like we've been doing with our movie reviews. So we'll make the first half no spoilers, and then we will make a clear point in the video where you will know that we are switching to spoilers. So
I don't know what was in the little preview part they did because I don't even know that I watched it. I don't remember it. So.
Oh, you mean like the little trailers that Netflix has? Yeah, so the basic idea is a family has inherited a home after the dad's passing. So it's a mom and 3 kids. The 2 older ones are teenagers. It's the son, Tyler, then the sister, Kinsey, and then the young son, which is Bodhi, who I realized right away was Georgie from It.
Yes, and, which is amazing because we get to see him not die. At least so far. That's what we know.
Yeah, but I totally was waiting for him to start yelling, "You'll float too, you'll float too," because he's still got that same little voice. I mean, he hasn't aged that much.
That's his voice.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
But so you've got them as the main characters, and they move literally all the way across the country. They lived in Seattle, and now they live in Massachusetts in this old house. And from the title of the show, Locke and Key, their last name is Locke. The family last name
Locke. Mm-hmm. That's why it has E in the title.
That's fancy. And and they go and live in their family home, which is called Key House, which they even kind of poke fun of that apparently their ancestors, ran with this whole idea that their last name was Locke. So
yes, I remember.
But, it's just, it's one of those where, they have to get used to their new life in this new town, and they're trying to get away from, the death of their father, and it just seems to keep creeping up, and they're all trying to deal with it the best they can. But the whole premise of the show where it comes in is there are literal keys that Bodhi, the youngest, starts discovering in the house that basically do all kinds of magical things.
Yes, without going into detail.
Yeah, so that's pretty much where we'll have to stop the premise, because that's where the story ensues from there. But I will say one of the things that I appreciated right away was it's always hard when you have, teenage characters and of course young kid characters too, because they can get real annoying real quick. So I will say
you're just annoyed by children.
Maybe, I don't know. But I will say that the actors who play each of the kids do a really good job. They do some different things. The older brother is kind of the reserved, athlete, and that's how he kind of escapes it. The sister was the one that she could have easily gone in kind of the young, angry, sister type, which I've kind of seen in the past. But she actually, I noticed she tries to kind of keep things together. So I thought that was a welcome change.
She's like an introvert. Her big thing.
Yeah, but she shows that she really does care about the family, especially her older brother. Her and her are really close, so I appreciate that, because Bodhi, there's a big age difference between the two teenage kids and him. Mm-hmm. And he's really good because he's the one that's just kind of eating up this whole idea that these keys exist, and he's the one that's really driving the story forward by his bad decisions sometimes.
Yes. We also don't know why he's not in school. But that's another time.
Yeah.
Maybe he's homeschooled. I just don't see any homeschooling actually happening.
Yeah.
It's under debate.
We might have missed that part too. It might have been a throwaway line early in the first episode that we missed.
Said something that we missed.
Yeah, because the two older kids definitely go to school.
Yes.
And there's a lot of it's sad, but it's a lot of cliched high school stuff at the beginning. But it's cliche, but it's stuff that kids still deal with. Bullies and trying to fit in, and so it's stuff that's been there for generations. So unfortunately, it kind of has to be there because there's not really any other way to portray it. So,
well, I mean, yeah, and I'll talk about it more in non-spoilers, because
we are in non-spoilers.
Are we in non-spoilers?
You mean you'll talk about it more in spoilers?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll talk about it more in spoilers, not to be confused with right now. Yeah, because, some of it goes into the character makeup, so I don't want to, talk about the character makeup too much. But
I mean, we can keep this opening part real short. I mean, there's a lot out there with streaming, and I know we have neglected Netflix recently, since Disney Plus launched. We've actually been going through and rewatching all the Disney movies through not all of them, but at least all the animated ones.
We decided we care about.
Yeah, and some ones that we consider quintessential Disney. So we have neglected Netflix, but we definitely wanted to check. Well, I wanted to check this out because I know, like I said, it's a graphic novel. I missed out on it when it came out. Forgot to mention it's actually written by the son of Stephen King, who goes by the name Joe Hill, which is funny because, understandably his whole career he's kind of tried to distance himself from his father's name to make his own name. But if I find a picture of him, I'll put it here. But if you see him, there's no doubt that who his father is. I mean, they're the spitting image of one another. So, but I can totally understand. And then I hope that this does kind of help, show more of his talent because, he has definitely made a name for himself on his own. And I'm glad to see one of his works get produced like this and get a wide audience. So I hope that was one of the reasons that we wanted to go ahead and cover this one, was because we really did like it and we want to kind of help promote it. Hopefully people will check it out. I know there's a series of graphic novels. They're done in short stories instead of an ongoing series, which is smart for a smaller publisher. So there's, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them that I saw. that are out there. So there's a lot more story to mine. I assume this one takes stuff from the first one.
It kind of went something like this. Oh, look, Netflix. Netflix advertisement comes up. Netflix advertising is working. I'm like, ooh, looks interesting. And then Joel's like, this is blah, 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 wah, 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 from wah, wah, wah. And the director is wah, 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 ooh, wah, 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 wah. And I'm like, yay, I can get Joe to watch something with me. Joe, we should watch the first episode.
Yeah,
because Sarah is
the binge
likes
watcher.
to watch this much stuff, and Joe likes to watch this much stuff.
Yes, if Sarah did a video on everything she watched on Netflix, she would never have time for regular life.
Yes, which is why I don't.
But anyway, I don't know. I mean, we can rate the first few episodes. I don't really feel like we need to.
Yeah, we need to do spoilers, though.
No, I'm talking, but for the people.
Oh,
okay, so if you're not going to stay here for spoilers,
sorry.
if you're not going to stay for spoilers, just give the show a try. Watch at least the first 3. The second one ends on a very wicked cliffhanger.
The third one, too.
Yeah, not as bad as the second one, but hopefully it'll keep you going.
The first one, I was so happy that the first one didn't leave us on a cliffhanger. I was like, yay, I'm actually happy.
Yeah.
And then that just went downhill, but that's okay.
So we're going to move on here to spoilers in a second. I just wanted to say thank you to those who subscribed. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe because things have changed on YouTube this year. There's also the bell icon that gives you notifications of when a video goes up. And then, if you like the video, please hit like. Comment below if you've seen this show and what you think. Try to keep away from spoilers as well. Or if you've already binge watched the whole thing. So anyway, so now we are going to do spoilers.
Spoilers! Spoilers.
All right, so for those of you who are still here in the spoiler section, so that means that you have seen it or at least seen up to episode 3, which is what we watched up till. So the keys, that was the one thing we really couldn't go into. They all go to different places. So let's go over what are the keys that he's discovered so far.
Let's see. Well, first he discovered the Anywhere key. Mm-hmm. And then he discovered the Mirror key. Mm-hmm. The one that I know it has a different name, but trap.
The Mirror key.
Yeah, sure. All right, the Mirror key, the Head key, mm-hmm. The Ghost key. Is that it?
Yeah, because she stole. We'll talk about who she is in a second.
Yeah,
she stole
as
the
much
one.
As we know, at least.
Yeah. And then the guy in the first episode who blew up, he had a key, which she ended up with. So basically, so the setup is, when Bodhi starts finding the keys, he goes to an old well on the property, and there's a woman in the well, which at first you think might just be a ghostly voice or something, but there's an actual woman in the well.
They definitely show her. Now it's debatable what she actually is.
Yeah.
We could talk about some theories on that maybe, since we don't know anything. But, it definitely looks to be a woman. Mm-hmm. But knowing logically a woman could not live in a well for years, because I'm imagining she was there for years. Mm-hmm. And I mean, she still looks pretty young, well put together. Doesn't look like she's been living in a well for years.
No.
So,
I mean, she's obviously some sort of either magical creature or she could be an actual person who was affected by the keys in such a way to where she can survive on her like that.
Theory.
That's what I thought, because so the overall story with the dad is he somehow is connected to this house. Apparently each well, I mean it's the family house, but what I meant is he's connected to the weird happenings, because apparently when he grew up with his brother and the family, it's just known that the house does this, or that they, the keys exist.
We find out in the third episode that he definitely used the ghost key to go visit his relative and whatnot. So we know that he used the keys for sure. And then there's this unspecified disaster that occurred with him and his group of friends, which, I mean, they've told us things about it, but it's like that something is missing.
Yeah.
Like they told us that the friends like drowned, right? Is that
something about
drowned in a cave?
about a sea cave, which I feel like we saw when Bodhi was flying around as a ghost.
Oh yeah.
I think it was shown very briefly there, but anyway, so
He
so
was
he
on the
calls her
balcony, and he was outside where they
he
were,
calls the woman Echo because that's how he first starts talking to her. He's like, "Are you my Echo?"
She says that
and she's
she's
like,
his
"Yes,
Echo.
I'm your Echo," you know. And so it seemed at first like she was trapped there, but when he found the Anywhere key.
He'd turned around for a second and it appeared on the brink of the well.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like, well, I mean, she either spawned up there and put it there, or, you know, she, I don't know, or, you know, used her magical powers to send it up there on the
Wait, I thought he found it in the house and brought it back to her. She made the photograph appear on the side of the well.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was the photograph.
Yeah.
My bad. I was thinking of the photograph.
Because he brought it back. He told her that he found it. But then she all of a sudden appeared next to him and took the key, and she's gone on her own little side quest, basically.
Yeah.
And it seems like
implies that she could get out of the well.
Yeah, which is another big mystery now because the key apparently had nothing to do with it other than the fact that she couldn't get back to the house for some reason. That was the only thing I gathered from that.
Mm-hmm. I definitely don't think she's human, but
yeah, no, I don't either. But so with the trio of kids, you know, it focuses on them. Bodhi, of course, you know, being the youngest and the one who's, you know, super excited that this is happening, which I kind of like that. And I do like that they kind of established in the first episode that the kids all experienced something. So that way we don't have to go through this whole thing of, well, they don't believe me, you know. And so right away they all know that they saw something, but they seem to establish some sort of rule that adults either forget or something happens because the mom actually experiences the mirror key, almost dies, but then she seems like she doesn't remember.
Yeah.
But the kids remember because Tyler, the older brother,
had to be rescued.
Yeah, he actually went in there and rescued her. So that's
prison of self. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. But I thought that was interesting.
Something like that.
And there's a lot of things they make fun of too, like even Bodhi says, you know, well, maybe it's because she's an adult. She doesn't remember. That's the way these things always work.
Right.
You know, so it's pretty funny
she
that
really doesn't seem to remember.
Yeah, it's funny that they poke fun at stuff like that. But other than that, you know, they like Bodhi's story, because we were talking about, you know, him being a little kid. We're not sure why he does not going to school. His story pretty much focuses around the house, and that's why he keeps finding so many keys, because he seems to have nothing else to do while mom is gone to, I assume, a job. I don't remember what mom
get
does.
into trouble.
Yeah, and then of course the two older kids are at school. There is an uncle who's the one who kind of helped get them set up in the house, which of course is the brother of the father who got killed. Oh, that's the other thing we need to talk about. So the father,
we're all over the place here.
Yeah, sorry. The father was murdered.
Yes.
The father was murdered by a kid that Tyler got to know, but they weren't necessarily friends. I guess he said that this kid...
he definitely encountered him because of that, what they showed in episode 3 when he told the kid basically like, well, if you're going to kill your dad, go ahead and kill mine too.
Yeah.
She was like, but reflecting on. Yeah,
this other kid, well, I wish I would have notated his name, but
I don't even know if they gave it to us, honestly.
No, they did.
Okay.
But they basically paint him as the outcast, and you know, somehow apparently he does find out about Key House because they show flashbacks, which is pretty interesting how they do it, because as each character remembers how it happened from their point of view, the day that that kid came to their house in Seattle and confronted the dad, asking him about Key House, and of course at the time none of the other family members knew what he was referring to, but obviously the dad did. And when he tried to take the gun away, that's when the dad got shot and killed. And then he tried to go after the rest of the family, but the mom actually, even though she had been shot in the leg, was able to knock him out with a hammer. And after that, he was captured and put away until Echo, apparently, I don't know if she's going to release him or...
Like that last episode, it looked like they had shown that he had like a tattoo on his arm that was like, looked like an Omega symbol.
Yeah.
Which then the mom finds it in their yearbook that it's like drawn all over it, I guess. So we have yet to know what that means, but
Yeah.
I feel like usually that has some kind of a almost like a demonic relationship when we see it in movies.
Yeah, well, I mean, it always, Omega end, it means something's going to end, so it's the finality of that. It's ominous, something's, going to end.
Ominous.
Yes, but I actually was expecting when she was going through that yearbook that she was going to see the picture of Echo or something, that she was going to be the same age, but that wasn't what it was.
Nope.
Because there's a picture that the dad's friends, the ones you mentioned, that they were all really good friends when they were in high school, and something bad happened to them.
I feel like it has to be related to the keys. It just hasn't come into play yet.
Yeah, I've been meaning to go back and look at that photo to see if Echo is in there.
I feel like they would have
Maybe zoomed in already.
Yeah, I feel like.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. But
I don't know. I just think that she's something else. Like she's not a human. Like I don't think that she. I feel like that whole thing is maybe a facade that was maybe she used a key to get it or something. I don't know. But like if you saw how she was eating in the episodes, it's like
very animalistic.
Yeah, well, and the quantity is like
yeah.
not a person, and it like was like, okay, if you eat, and if you were a person in a well for who knows how long, then you would have starved. But then it remains to be known if she was actually trapped in the well or not as well. So
Yeah.
there's lots of questions.
Yeah, she's I say very easily could be a supernatural creature. I only say that because this is not Stephen King's world, but it's his son's world, which I'm sure is equally as fantastical.
Yeah,
So
we know it's magical because keys. So.
yeah, but yeah, that we kind of sped through a lot of it, but that's kind of the excitement that I have with this one. It's very much unique. It's I love the idea of the keys doing different things. At first, I was under the impression that they just kind of took you to different worlds, but apparently they do different things.
That was the summary I got.
Yeah, well, that's the summary I understood.
What's this going to be about, Joe? Well, it's going to be about these keys that they unlock the different doors in the house and they take you to different places. Like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. Let's go. And I was like, oh, there's only one key that does that. With the weird Echo person, like at the beginning, she like kind of... I can't think of the word, foreshadows the different keys and what they do, at least.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know
so
if all of them.
Yeah, she kind of lets him know what to look for. And apparently the reason Bodhi can find them is because they whispered to him, or whatever that means.
Which it's like little whisper-like sounds.
Yeah, because they even ask him about it later, and he said, it's not a language or anything, it's just a whisper.
Not that he understands. Haha. Yeah. That might mean something, too.
But yeah, I don't know. We're like I said, I feel like we covered a lot.
Yeah, there's also a lot of interesting real world elements that they throw in there. Mm-hmm. With kids like I can't think of words. It's they're having post-traumatic stress disorder, basically. Like except Brody is like the only one that I don't... Bodhi. Did it again. Bodhi is the only one that doesn't have any that we've seen. But we've seen the mom have it, and we've seen both the kids have it, and they're like having flashbacks, but they're also like having some kind of a meltdown at the same time.
Yeah, well, Tyler is the one who's trying to distance himself. He's trying to, go back into sports while he's there. Like I said, the sister is the one that kind of keeps trying to make sure he's not drifting too far away. I think Bodhi is fine because he's getting lost in this adventure that he's on, basically.
Yeah.
And he is, because he does have a mind on the situation, too. He even says, when they scold him for using one of the keys again, it's the key where he goes into his head, I think. Mm-hmm. Or the ghost key. No, I'm sorry, it was the ghost key.
It was the ghost key
because he thought that he would see his dad, and he does end up seeing his great-grandfather, but the grandfather establishes the rule that only family members who have died on the property can still have the choice to wander, and since the dad died in Seattle, he just probably passed to the other side, because they do talk about that, about passing to the other side. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting that they do lay out some rules, some ground rules for everything. which is always interesting when you're dealing with magic.
There was one more thing, the fisherman story. I thought the fisherman story might have some meaning. He told 2 different versions of it, apparently with the little girl. The little girl.
But who told the story?
The dad did.
Okay, well, they don't know that.
Unless they watched it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless they're episode 3, yeah.
Okay. In episode 3, they learn how to go into people's heads and they go into people's memories. And so the fisherman story, we see that Cathriana, am I saying her name right?
Who?
The girl. What's the girl's name?
Kenzie?
Kenzie.
Where the heck did you get Catriona
I'm bad
from?
with names. I just like K.
This is why I normally have notes. You see why you give me a hard time about having notes, and the one time I don't put them up there, you're completely lost.
I knew you'd correct me. So anyway, Kenzie. They go into her memory and they see her dad.
We're sorry, Mr. Joe Hill. Can you please just make all your characters John, Jane, Tom, Tim, so that way
I'll still get mixed up. It doesn't matter. Especially if they all start with the same letter. Then I'm going to have a really hard time. Anyway, so they go into her memory and they see her dad telling her a story about the fisherman. And in her version, it has a happy ending. Well, at first the fisherman's friends get swallowed, but then the fisherman does nice things for other people, like gives away things to other people that he inherits from his friends or something like that. And then Joe doesn't remember.
I don't remember the fisherman story.
Oh my gosh, no wonder he didn't bring it up. So anyway, at the end of the version that she hears of the story, all the friends get returned by the sea monster at the end. And kind of as like a thank you to the fisherman, for being kind. But when he tells his son Tyler has a flashback of him telling the story, and it's different when he tells the story to him. And he talks about how I guess in that version I think the friends just get taken away and like the fisherman's kind of left with regret
by himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I felt like that was connected to what happened to his group of friends.
Yeah, that part I did catch, yeah.
But on the true version would obviously be that they were taken away and not returned. But then we don't know if there's really a sea monster, or hey, maybe Echo's the sea monster. Who knows?
Yeah,
we don't know right now.
There is at least one survivor of that group. It's a woman who has been hanging out with the mom and sharing a little bit. And she did go to the well once she found out that Bodhi had mentioned that somebody was in the well, but she was actually calling down into the well a guy's name, Lucas, which I thought was the boyfriend or her high school sweetheart that died.
Did she say Lucas?
Yeah, she didn't. Yeah, she clearly said a guy's name, because that's why I was like, well, she's not addressing the woman, or at least that form.
Well, I remember that her boyfriend was Lucas.
Oh, okay. So she definitely said his name, so she was not addressing Echo, as we'll call her for now.
Could be anybody, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. But
so many mysteries.
Anything else, or?
I can't think of anything else notable at this time.
Well, like we said, guys, just really wanted to get this out there to promote this. Nowadays with all the streaming services, you can get lost and not knowing what to check out anymore, or if it's worth your time. I would say this one is definitely worth your time. It's only 10 episodes, so I'm sure we'll be done with it by the end of the week. Whether or not we do a follow-up video remains to be seen, but we at least wanted to cover these first few episodes just to get it out there. Hopefully you guys will check it out, and hopefully you will enjoy it as much as we did. I'm not going to give a rating. I just watch it.
We can give a rating at the end, maybe, when we finish it.
Oh, at the end. Oh, okay. I was like, we're at the end.
His wife will make him watch an episode every day until we finish it.
We are at the omega of this episode. We are at the end. Anyway.
Please don't stop watching because Joe did that.
Thanks again for watching. Be sure to subscribe, hit the bell, hit like. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, because we post a lot of things out there as well that we don't get to talk about on the show. So anyway, thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next time.